sticking out my fro with my fist comb.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Bros Talk Football, where the bros, that is me, Andre, Ace, and John, talk some football. So we're going to hop straight into it, let you know how our squads did. Since I'm taking lead in the center, I will, yes, admit that Team Rocket was victorious once again. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, we were able to bounce back. Le'Veon Bell doing his thing. Definitely was one of my bright spots. I kind of rode him. Yeah, not like John rides his defenses. John may want to ride the D. I'll take the running backs and let them do work. And yeah, I was able to pull out a victory. Larry Fitzgerald, once again, he's having almost maybe a career season if he keeps it up. So he's someone who's been a bright spot for me. I actually went with the tandem wide receivers on the Colts, Dante Moncrief, T.Y. Hilton, and they were averaging points for me, but it was pretty solid. And yeah, man, I was happy to pull out a victory. It seemed like a kind of a low scoring week on the whole. I know a lot of kickers were missing field goals and not the big stars were getting what they usually get. So it's kind of hard to come by points. So when that happens, you just got to hope that some of your waiver wire pickups and kind of bench guys are doing what you need to do. And I was lucky to pull that out. Ace, how are things looking for you?
Hey, what's up, guys? You can follow me on Instagram at BoomIt'sAce. Well, the golden ticket was ripped up to shreds, and we came up short this week.
I got transportation.
Not looking good. Was down about like 6 points coming into this Monday night game. I thought Monday night was looking good for me. All he had was Hauschka versus my injured Marshawn Lynch, so I luckily picked up T. Rawls from the waiver wire. Okay, I had a running back. Plus I had a little safety net with Jimmy Graham. And unfortunately, Hauschka outscored both Jimmy Graham and T. Rawls.
Put together?
Put together, yeah. And I'll talk about my little disappointment a little later on. But team struggled a lot. Tony Romo was injured, so I had to play Fitzpatrick. And the only players that scored double digits on my team was Fitzpatrick and the Denver kicker. So with that type of production, you're definitely setting yourself up for failure. So fell short this week. Hopefully we can bounce back next week. But
hey, well, at least you have like a really good kicker, right? He hasn't missed this year, so
thank you, John, for that Denver kicker.
The way the season's going, I think you might have to maybe put him on the trading block and use that as like a valuable asset and say, hey, look, at least my kicker doesn't miss field goals.
He's looking really good, McKinnis from Denver. Thank you for giving me 12 points. Second leading scorer on my team, so that's not really all that great.
That's tough. That's tough.
Really bad.
Mr. Burkhead, how are things looking for you?
I am declining to speak first.
McElwain is in a drought at the moment. We are in a drought. I'm just praying for some Wayne. Praying for some Wayne. I'm definitely feeling the injury bug. Not having been as a quarterback, I started riding tan and chill, and he was anything but tan and chill in London.
Maybe that's what he was doing. He was getting tan and chill on the beach
that guy.
instead of actually playing football.
Drinking some tea and crumpets, maybe.
That guy. No, can't knock him for it. The Jets have a pretty good defense. Miami just fired their head coach, so there's a lot of things going on there. They're not turning out to the team that they were supposed to be preseason, which is fine, understandable. But yeah, I also got the L this week, unfortunately. Looked like a winnable week, but he had Jeremy Hill score 3 touchdowns for him. That was huge. Forte didn't get to the end zone. Lacey didn't get into the end zone. I went with Foster, a guy that I've been keeping on ice. It was him or Melvin Gordon. But Cleveland's weird. Like, I don't know. They're kind of on and off now and then. So I was like, all right, let me try Foster. Atlanta gave up 3 touchdowns to Joseph Randle, but Foster pooped.
It seems like on paper you have a lot of talent at running back, to the point where maybe it's even hard for you to choose, okay, which 2 or which 3 am I going to put in?
It's true.
And then a lot of times I feel like when that happens, it's almost like you can never win, because just by the luck of the fantasy gods, they're just going to make whatever guy's on your bench be the one that blows up.
But no one on my bench blew up.
Frustrating for a lot of people out there.
Indeed. But my defense and my kicker got me 28 points. I had Green Bay defense. I had Gano from Carolina. By the way, if he's still available, I definitely recommend picking him up. The reason why I scooped him up was the first 3 weeks he was averaging 9 points. That's pretty solid for a kicker. So every game he's had at least 9. And yeah, so I went with him. He has a bye coming up, so I'm gonna have to pick another kicker up, but I'm gonna keep him. He's great. But yeah, so 28 points from kicker and your defense, and you still lose. That's pretty rough. I lost by 8. You know, looking still early. I'm still 2-2, so we're fine. Looking coming up this week, I have more guys on bye. Actually, my best scorer, Brandon Marshall, who would have thought?
Yeah, right.
He's on a bye, so
great pickup too.
yeah, that guy's amazing. I had him like 9th round. I can't believe it. He's on a bye this week along with Tan and Chill. So buys are definitely hurting me at the moment. I don't have a wide receiver to go to. I have an injured Deshaun Jackson, who I picked up on the waiver wire last week. Stole him from Ace.
It's still controversial, but
The only thing controversial is you tried to bat the ball. So, you know, I'm
topical.
right now. I'm playing the waiver wire game. Actually, I'm gonna start Blake Bortles at quarterback. They're playing Tampa Bay. He's doing his thing. And I'm also going with Alan Hearns
All right.
from Jacksonville also.
That's who you have, or is that like a spot? Like
That's a waiver wire pickup. He should be available for anyone who has buys. We have a 2 wide receiver league. Weird, but and our bench is kind of short.
It's small.
It's small, but you know, I'm gonna go with Hearns and John Brown. John Brown gets a lot of targets.
John Brown, king of the burbs. Hallelujah, holla back.
hallelujah, holla back.
I'm a general, hand on my genitals, sipping on chemicals, unidentical mental tools. Make sure I never lose. Soldier as a team, now I'm all behind the scene. Make decisions with the team, throwing money.
And Palmer throws it to him, and he has to reel him in.
So that's something that probably his stats may not show right now, but you're thinking by the time the whole season's fleshed out, John Brown's going to be someone who has a lot of points.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, the guy. Like I said, I'm still trying to shop around Matt Forte to get a wide receiver just because of my plethora of running backs. I have Ronnie Hillman, who I think will be the starter for Denver in a couple of weeks. He's a good runner.
Yeah.
He's a quick runner.
Came out real good.
He had 22 points on the bench for me this past week, which I wouldn't have started him anyways. But you know, when buys are starting to come up, that's why I'm trying to get another stud wide receiver, and we'll go from there. It looks like the injury bug has been hitting quarterbacks again. Andrew Luck was out this week, and he's day to day. So looking kind of interesting at quarterbacks. I feel like guys who aren't valued as super high are doing well, and guys who are supposed to be big names aren't. Example, Peyton Manning. Everyone always talks about him getting older, this and that. Sure, that's fine, but he's always had good stats. He's always been cautious with the ball, but he's had a lot more turnovers this year, especially in the beginning of the season. So that's something I've been keeping my eye on. That's why I'm going with the Bortles, because he puts up a lot of numbers, passing-wise. Guy Hasselback had 47 pass attempts. 47.
Yeah, I think he was popping some pills before the game, whether or not it was Cialis, Viagra, I'm not sure what it was.
Whoa.
But I mean, hey, man, he's getting up there in age, and he has to make sure he can do whatever he can to stay up and compete. And he was able to do that. Luckily,
Get checked after 4 hours.
I got the win to kind of make a little, kind of go back to last week. John was definitely right about LaShawn McCoy being out for an extended period of time. I thought it was just something where he was just kind of having a nagging injury and, getting better. But, I did end up going with Carlos with a K, Carlos Williams. I went with him, And he, got some points for me. He had a nice catch for a touchdown, so I was happy about that. Tyler Eifert, my tight end, is still doing pretty well. I think he had like 60, 70 yards. He's someone to look out for. Cincinnati Bengals, I think, is definitely a team that people should focus on as far as fantasy points.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be like Jeremy Hill, who's already taken AJ Green, but I know people like Marvin Jones, I think, is still getting some stats. Giovanni Bernard, backup Geodude.
Geodude.
Like, he's not going to see as many touches as Hill, but he's seeing enough to get in the game, to get scoring opportunities. He had one touchdown and another one that was stopped on the goal line. So,
Stupid Hill.
So, yeah, definitely that's someone to look to see if he's still available in your league. I recommend, because they're putting up a lot of points, and the Red Rockets finally kind of doing what people thought he would do.
I think this is a good time to insert my new segment. You know what grinds my gears? Daryl Bevel. Delisa Lynch was on the right track of you being fired. What is I'm just angry. What is Seattle doing? They have Russell Wilson running around looking like his head cut off. Luckily running around and then finding receivers.
He played a super weak Detroit team.
Yeah, your O-line is just letting them come through. You have one of the best tight ends. Use him. Marshawn Lynch is averaging, what, not even 60 yards a game.
Nope, he's probably averaging more Skittles per game than yards per game.
He's probably looking at him like from the sideline. Man, it's a good thing I didn't play tonight because we looked really, really bad.
Shaking the Skittle.
So Daryl Bevel, come on, bro. Get it together.
Stop grinding Ace's gears.
How many tight ends just not panned out this year, I feel? Like, if you're not Gronk, you're not a tight end.
I mean, there's so many other tight ends that's performing way better than... It's kind of weird to say, performing better than Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, he's just disappearing. I know there's been a couple times he was open even in Monday night's game.
I'm open!
But I did have three players. I had three players on the bench that
don't understand it, bruh.
I had three players on the bench that scored double digits, which would have probably helped me win the game. I had Doug Martin, who went off finally.
Do you think he might see some more play time for you? Like, it's a step in the right direction. Because I know we always have those players where you're worried, like, okay, this guy better show up this week, or the player on the bench is probably going to take his spot. So I feel like Doug at least had that game where he did enough to definitely earn his starting job, did enough to earn more touches than Charles Sims, but it's something to kind of keep an eye on to be worried about.
Yeah, my running back committee is so far is was Marshawn Lynch, now it's T. Rawls, Carlos Hyde, and now Doug Martin. And that's not a pretty bunch to pick out of. But
so it seems like it's kind of like the season's going. It's a lot of players that aren't panning out. Like John, who's panned out so far? Because most people.
Ben Roethlisberger has panned out.
They haven't kind of lived up to what they've been supposed to do.
Agreed. I think at least first round talent they're going to take in a draft. Gronk has probably been the stud of the first round. Antonio Brown had his first quiet game again. This was Vic's first game back, or first full game, full start back. But Antonio Brown, I think, is a guy who's a stud, doing his thing.
But the Vic effect
showed for sure.
What's going to happen, maybe keep happening to him for a while.
It's very, very possible. I think Le'Veon has lived up to his first round status, looking like the best running back for a really long time. Jamal Charles quietly is doing his thing.
True,
he hasn't had big numbers, but he has consistent good. I will take this with my first round pick kind of guy. Marshawn hasn't panned out. Lacey got hurt game 2, was quiet game 3. Game 1 was fine, game 4 was okay. I feel like Rodgers is so good that they don't even need to run games from time to time. Maybe they're nursing him back to health. But, he had 18 carries for 90 yards.
Okay.
Give him...
That's pretty quiet, too. It didn't seem like they were featuring him.
Yeah, exactly. But he's doing his thing. So, Lacey looks okay.
Let's not forget about Julio Jones.
Yeah, Julio Jones.
Julio Jones is a stud.
The funny thing,
but
I'm sure
this week
he
only had 3 catches for 38 yards. Well, Julio Jones broke the record for most catches through his first 3 games.
Okay.
He had 4 touchdowns. I mean, the man's on pace.
But the funny thing with this is, as good as Julio Jones has been, he hasn't even been the best player on his team.
No.
Devontae Freeman
came in and has, what, 6 touchdowns?
He has like what the most in the league so far.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting things going on this
Peterson
year.
is leading the league in rushing.
He's
so
actually
he's
stand out,
up.
actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Des Bryant got hurt. I don't know if anyone took Andrew Luck first round, but he's hurt. Jeremy Hill was poo body. Even this week, he only had 40 rushing yards.
Jeremy Hill.
So kind of might be like, this could be a year where you do kind of look at the up and comers, kind of like Dante Moncrief. I feel like he's been very consistent in what he's been doing. I'm sorry, but I just think of Amari Cooper has been a bright spot.
I guess
Alan Hearns.
Alan Hearns is okay.
Mentioned is doing really well.
I mean, if we're gonna stick with Devontae Freeman and Julio Jones, I mean, I think he's still highly available. Leonard Hankerson looks like he's gonna be taking over Roddy White's number 2 spot. So I like Roddy White, but Hankerson,
Boomin says is politicking for the handkerchief. Okay.
Hanker's son.
All right.
You know what I'm saying, son. But yeah, and I'm liking Hankerson. I picked him up. Once again, he was on my bench and gave me about 20.
The real question is, how come you haven't started Vincent Jackson this season?
I like to play with the Green Bay. Like the Green Bay committee. I played James Jones and Randall Cobb, who, if I remembered, beat John. Gave me a victory.
Hey, that's cool. What's your record?
Okay.
2-2, John.
All right, cool. So we tied.
But
we tied.
But then who's leading
But we tied.
the division?
But we tied. Isaiah, that fool's cheating.
Okay, and then who's next?
number 2?
John.
In 3rd place.
Burkhead.
Erroneous.
Erroneous on both counts.
You're in a drought. You're California right now.
I am in a drought. I am California right now.
Danny California.
Maybe Wayne needs to come back,
Okay,
y'all. We are coming back.
So to come back, since we're probably winding down towards the end, give us one.
Down and out. I'm the underdog.
He's getting worked up.
Coming back.
Give us one or two waiver wire pickup people, if you already mentioned it.
Blake Bortles, Alan Hearns, those are guys I'm taking.
2 Jacksonville guys.
2 Jacksonville
people
guys.
might not be paying attention to.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another guy, though, this is completely out of left field, and I know you guys are gonna yell at me. Green Bay defense.
Okay.
Do it. Green Bay defense.
I
like him a lot.
Couple waiver wire pickups that you like.
I did say Leonard Hankerson.
Okay, Hankerson.
So I'm liking him a lot. I'm really liking St. Louis's defense. I'm really liking it.
Two D's so far that we're mentioning.
So I'm really liking their defense.
But everyone's St. Louis is drafted.
And you know what? I'm going to actually continue the trend. I'm going to mention a defense because it seems like this is a year where defense and kickers are making a big part of these wins.
We said that last time.
Yeah. Ringing true again. I'm going to go with New England defense. I actually picked up both in 2 of my leagues, New England defense, because people dropped them because they were on a bye. If you have a good defense, I say hold on to them even if they're on the bye because you never know someone's going to snake and pick them up. New England defense isn't the best defense, but they're on probably the best team in the league.
Yep.
And so when people have to struggle to keep up, then they're likely to get turnovers.
You bet.
And they're going to be playing Dallas this week. With how injury decimated Dallas is, I think New England defense is one to pick up if it's available because people dropped it.
Yeah.
And I'd also say Carlos with the K. Because he's going to be holding down that leading spot. He's a strong runner.
Yep.
He's pretty big.
You bet.
And I think they're going to have to run him for a couple more weeks until McCoy
definitely going to have to ride him.
can get fully healthy. So
Ronnie Hillman is another guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a quicker back than Anderson. He's better with the Peyton Manning. I feel like I think he could catch more, but he adds a different dynamic on the ground. In my opinion, he got hurt last year, which why Anderson came in as the 3rd back. Remember, he was the 3rd back. Mm-hmm. So that's just something, and I know a lot of people are probably going to pick him up just because he had that one big run. He's had the longest run this season, I think. Mm-hmm. That 75-yard run. Yeah. So
he had boosties on him.
He did.
But hey, that Gurley kid, I know you guys were getting on me. I kept saying Todd Gurley, and look what he did. Look what he did.
Aha.
Exactly. So, yeah, just give you guys a few things to look at. I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Broncos and Raiders this week.
This week, Raiders are going to get that victory over the Broncos.
We have a bet going on, guys.
Thank you for watching. As always, feel free to comment, mention any, you know, stardom, situms that you guys might have questions for, and we'll be happy to answer them. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next week with John being sad that his Denver Broncos lost.
They ain't losing. 5-0.
I beat John.
Wait, stop right there. Listen, stop right there a minute. Man goes into a restaurant. You listening? A man goes into a restaurant, he sits down, he's having a bowl of soup. He says to the waiter, come, taste the soup. Waiter says, is there something wrong with the soup? He says, taste the soup. He says, is there something wrong with the soup? Is the soup too hot? He says, will you taste the soup? What's wrong? Is the soup too cold? Will you just taste the soup? All right, I'll taste the soup. Where's the spoon? Aha. Aha. What do you know from funny, you bastard?